How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again. Fucking light's bright. You can see like a ball of light there. There's a red hot thing in the sky in Manchester. I think they call it the sun. Right, guys, so this video, this vlog, as you can see from the title, is going to be on different prison officers you might come across in the prison system. Now, obviously, as we know, we've got men's prisons, we've got women's prisons, prisons that are run by HMP, Her Majesty's Prison Service, and you've also got private prisons run by companies like G4S, Sodexo Justice Services, etc, etc. I've been in both types of prisons, guys. In strange ways, it's run by HMP, Her Majesty's Prison Service, right? In my opinion, in my experience, screws that work for Her Majesty's Prison Service have swapped their personality for a set of keys and a set of epaulets, right? That's my experience. They're very strict. They do it by the book. They're old school. That's my experience. When I've been in Forest Bank twice, which is run by Sodexo Justice Services, the officers are a complete different kettle of fish altogether. They can have a laugh with them and stuff like that. Now, like I say, as prisoners and stuff, there'll be certain officers you get on with, and there'll be certain officers that rub you up the wrong way. Now, as prisoners, we're very, very, very manipulative, right? And we're out for what we can get out of these officers. So obviously, I'll give you a scenario. So if you're on a wing and you get on with a certain officer that's a similar age of you and stuff, and you know that like he's decent and stuff and he's approachable, and then you've got an old school screw that if you're entitled to it, you'll get it. If you're not, you won't. Who are you going to go to? Right? You're going to go to the one that you get on with, aren't you? Because you're trying to get, it could be, like example, I was a cleaner on my last stretch, yeah, as you all know, right, at Forest Bank, yeah. Now, obviously, working alongside the officers, I was unlocked at, what, half six in the morning, and I used to get locked up about 8:15 at night, Monday to Friday. Saturday was like 5:15 and that, right? And there were certain officers that you knew you could get away with stuff, and others that you couldn't, right? And like I say, so some of the officers, so I ran out of coffee. I was the coffee baron on the wing. I used to buy all the coffee. Right? I ran out, yeah, because everyone was tapping me up, yeah, because I had Kenco and stuff like that, yeah. So what I used to do is I used to get friendly with one of the screws, and in their little room, they had a kettle, a little fridge with coffee and tea and sugar, right? So I tapped him up. I said, listen, I said, Dan, can you sort me some coffee out and that? So on the quiet, we had a little arrangement and stuff. So I went in, found the polystyrene cup, filled it with coffee, stuck the lid on. The rest of the cleaners come snooping, didn't they? They tapped me up. They knew I was onto something. So they was trying to tap my graft, yeah, mate. So the point is that as prisoners, we're very manipulative. Now, there's different types of officers you'll come across. Right? You've got the older officers, right, that are they're quite long in the tooth and stuff. They do it by the book. We class them as old school screws, yeah. And like I say, if you're entitled to it, you'll get it. If you're entitled to it, you'll get it. If you're not, you won't. Then you've got ones that really, really buy the book and stuff. Some screws are sadistic bastards that want to wind you up so that you retaliate, so they can get to twist you up with a load of other screws, yeah, man. Then you've got the younger screws, right? The younger screws, right, they're a bit wet behind the ears and stuff. They've never really lived. And again, as prisoners, we're trying to manipulate the situation in our advantage, to our favour and stuff. We're cons, we're locked up. What do you want from us? You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Like I say, you've got all these different personalities, right? If you speak to a screw like shit, right, and you're kicking off with him, you're not going to get fuck all from him, are you? Right? If you butter him up a bit and play the old charm game and stuff, you're more likely to get what you want, aren't you? And this is the thing: in prison, to go by, you've got to get by. Right? So like I say, you become friendly. Obviously, you can become friendly with someone and still be doing what you're doing in your pad or on the wing or whatever. But when you're on the wing and you need something, you've got to play the game and stuff. And like I say, that for a lot of cons, guys, it's an us versus them mentality. And what I mean by that is, it's us as cons versus the prison officers. Now, I used to have that mindset when I was in strange ways, right? When I went to Forest Bank, the officers, in any other walk of life, these officers would have been my personal friends because I got on with them all. I'm not a screw boy. I didn't have my head up anybody's screw's ass or tongue up anyone's screw's ass. But anyone that's been in Forest Bank will know what I'm saying, right? In Forest Bank, in my experience, the staff are approachable, they're easygoing, you can have a laugh with them and stuff. But at the end of the day, right? You can still be doing what you're doing, because in prison we all do a bit. By doing a bit, I mean we all wheel and deal and stuff. I was like the porn baron on the wing. I'd be buying pornos and stuff. People would be selling spice and weed and fucking doing bongs, and we was brewing hooch, and we was doing what we was doing, because like I say, it's all part of the prison life and stuff, yeah, man. So like I say, you can be friendly with a screw and be nice with them and show them the respect, but then as soon as you walk away from a screw, you're doing what you're doing, you're being underhanded and stuff. And like I say, you've got to fucking, there's that fine line and stuff like that. You can dance across it, but don't go over it. Because like I say, you don't want to be classed as a screw boy, you know what I'm saying? So like I say, the younger screws and stuff like that, the screws that, obviously in prison you've got prisoners of very different ages, right? You've got, like in Forest Bank, you've got the young YOs, yeah, that are coming up and stuff, mainly housed on A1, yeah, man. And then you've got, like I say, but you've got, because the officers, right, staff retention is a huge problem within the Ministry of Justice, right? And screws, they're losing, like, the Ministry of Justice were like recruiting, like, I think like 2,500 officers, right? For the 2,500 officers they've employed, which are like the young guns, right? They've lost 7,000 experienced old school sort of screws, right? So obviously these young people that are coming into the prison service, that are joining, becoming female and male screws and stuff, thinking it's all a fucking, oh, it's all a doddle and stuff, or get to wear a uniform and stuff, carry a set of keys, right? They've never really lived, these people, right? And like I say, because they've never really lived and stuff like that, they don't know how to approach and stuff. So some of them will be over friendly, and then then you can manipulate that screw. And it goes on, guys, trust me. In every prison up and down this country, men, women, Cat A, B, C or D prisons, right? You've got cons that are manipulating prison officers. You're seeing sexual relationships with prison officers, right? It goes on, right? More than you think as well, right? You've got fucking bent screws bringing in contraband, right? Mobile phones, drugs, new psychoactive substances like spice, right? Like I say, they're supposed to be whiter and white, these screws, aren't they? But they're not. Literally, you've got fucking teachers within prisons that are having sexual relationships with prisoners. At Forest Bank even, there was a female officer that just 2 months ago quit her job because she'd been deemed to be having a sexual relationship with a sex offender, right? Not that you should ever touch a sex offender, you should slit them from ear to ear, but that's neither here nor there, right? But she fell for a sex offender prisoner, right? You're working in close proximity. Female officers, guys, if she's fit, if she's pucker, right, we all turn into like slime balls, yeah? Fit officer comes on the wing and we're all, hi miss, how's your day been, miss? Oh, you look pretty today, miss, right? We turn on the charm and stuff, yeah, man, right? Because whenever a female member of staff come on, we turn into greasy gentlemen slime balls, right? Because our brains are down there, right? So we're attracted to them. They work very close proximity to us and stuff, right? So obviously, you go back to your cell, you wank over it, you wank yourself stupid over one of the screws on the wing or something, yeah, mate. If she's puckered and stuff. And like I say, you turn on the charm and stuff, and women love a bad boy. So these prison officers, these female prison officers, some of them don't, but a lot of them do. They fall for the bad boys, don't they, within the wing and stuff, yeah, man. So like I say, you've got the old school screws that you're not getting fuck all out of. You've got the sadistic screws that want to wind you up and just enjoy it when it's kicking off and stuff. You've got female officers and stuff like that that obviously you can have a flirt with and stuff like that. Some female officers it'll work with, other ones it won't. Like I say, but the younger the officer, in my opinion, the fact that they've never really lived and stuff, and then they've walked into this job, they might have been working in Tesco stacking shelves, and now they're a prison officer, right? And like I say, they've never really lived and stuff. They're a bit naive, they're a bit gullible. We're hardened cons, we're hardened criminals, right? And we're experts at exploiting people and exploiting situations. We're cons. What do you want us to do? That's what we're about. And you know what? Anyone that's been in prison that's watching this video will know exactly what I'm saying. Right? Like I say, some officers, I've met old school officers that are actually decent and stuff like that. There was an officer from Forest Bank who was a scouser, did it by the book, yeah. But absolute gentleman. We used to play pool with each other. He 7-balled me actually in a game of pool, which was quite embarrassing. But like I say, we was cleaners, so we worked alongside the officers. I got to have a healthy respect for their job and stuff because, like I say, I saw the self-harm, I saw the mental health, I saw the fucking kick-offs. there was a suicide on a wing adjacent to ours and stuff. Suicide attempts, fucking self-harm, violence, misery, death and despair, yeah. So I became to have an healthy respect for the officers and the job they was doing. They understood that we was there as a punishment, right? Even though the punishment of prison's losing your liberty. And we understood. We felt sorry for them and they actually felt sorry for us, right? But they had a job to do. Right? For some officers, being a prison officer, it's simply a job. They go to work, it's a job, they go home. For other officers, they take the job way, way, way too serious, right? And they just want to make your time miserable. They just want to fuck you off. They just want to say no for the sake of saying no, just to wind you up and stuff. And like I say, to them, their job is their life. And they walk around and oh yeah and all that stuff, right? And they're the officers that you want to avoid and stuff. But the younger officers that are now coming through, right? Because the prison service are actually, like I said, they've recruited I think 3,333 prison officers, right? These are going to be younger officers, right? So obviously with the intention of training them up, it's a career, it's a job for life, right? And obviously when they first land and stuff, when they first get the keys and stuff, right? You know from speaking to them, can you manipulate them? Can you manipulate the situation? And like I say, you've got prison officers bringing in drugs. You've got some good prison officers. There's a lot of prison officers that do it by the book, that are just old school, right, that are decent. Then you've got the bastards that are quite sadistic and stuff and want to wind you up. Then you've got some that are they're just like, you get on with them, you chat to them like I'm chatting to you now. And they're safe as fuck. And like I say, to them, it's just a job. They go home and stuff. The amount of prison officers I've met and dealt with and spoken to, I used to have debates with people, with prison officers within the wing. When I left prison, a prison officer that used to bang me up, right, who I won't mention any names, but he actually messaged me on Facebook, right, and said, keep doing what you're doing with the vlogs and stuff. You talk a lot of sense, right? And like I say, I know that my vlogs have been watched by screws at the prison because a prisoner that I used to be banged up with wrote to me to tell me that the officers have been watching it and stuff like that. So I know that these vlogs are widely watched and stuff. But like I say, when it comes to prison officers, for me, I don't think there's a more unattractive job in the world right now because they're overstretched, they're massively understaffed, they're overworked, and if it kicks off, they don't get the support from the top. There's also a lot of prison officers that have got these body-worn cameras now that they've brought in, right? Now, I spoke to one of the officers that I got on really, really well with, right? Proper top lad, used to be a car salesman, right? And he said, if it kicks off, and I'm going to put the boot in or I'm going to kick off, I just won't turn it on. Or if I've accidentally recorded, I'll speak to security and they'll wipe it, right? So that I don't like that because that's prison officers twisting the lads up, right? And then if they go too far, they just ring security and security scrub it. You see what I'm saying? Right? I don't like anyone that's going to come hard down on cons. I don't like it. Right? We're there as punishment and stuff. Just they should be making prisoners' lives easier, right, rather than coming down on them and trying to wind them up and stuff, yeah, especially with prisoners that you've got with mental health issues and stuff like that. But I don't think there's a more unattractive, undesirable job as being a prison officer because staff retention within 12 months, they've left the job because it's not what they thought it was going to be. You're prone to being to be stabbed, violence carried upon you, potted, which means they throw urine or piss and shit at you. They could be paid to do that or they just don't like and they do it. You become assaulted, you'll be working long hours, it'll affect your mental health. The amount of prison officers and prisoners that are leaving the system with PTSD, something that I was diagnosed with after my first ever stretch in prison because of my experiences and stuff like that. And then when you're in prison, you'll meet some of the best people you ever meet in your life, but you'll also see some of the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life. And it stays with you and stuff like that. As a cleaner, because I was out all the time, I saw it unfold firsthand and stuff. And if I was to say that it didn't stay with me up here, I'd be lying to you guys. So like I say, prison officers, for the most part, if they're decent screws, I've got nothing but good things to say about them. The bastards and stuff, the prison service needs to rid the prison service of these bastard screws because they're sadistic and stuff like that. And like I say, a fine example is Mark Fairhurst, the national chair of the POA, a man that I've done an interview with on BBC Radio Wales further down my timeline. works at Britain's most squalid prison and was sounding off like he was King Gisbit. I came at him, yeah, and I showed him up in the interview. It's as simple as that, really. But like I say, guys, they've got a job to do, us as prisoners and stuff. But as prisoners, we've got to get on with them and stuff. Is your attitude, are they the enemy? Do you get on with them? Have you met some really good screws, or have you met some dickheads? You'll have to let me know in the comment section. I'm always interested to know what you guys have got to say. Just because I'm sat here and doing these vlogs doesn't mean I'm an expert. I'm talking through my experiences. Your experiences as the prison officers might be completely different to mine. But what I'm simply trying to do, guys, is give a balanced argument to that problem. To prison officers, because there are good and there are bad, just like cons. There's some good cons that are actually spot on, and also some proper dickheads that have got a chip on their shoulder. There's good and bad in both society, guys. But like I say, we've got to, they work there and we live there, so we've got to get on. And like I say, as prisoners, we try to exploit the circumstances and see which officers we can manipulate to get what we can get out of them. And it's as simple as that. Right, guys, on that, put your comments in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe. Speak to you all soon. Cody out. Bye.